Hey, morning folks. Well, today it's the 21st of June 2024, which means that it's 3 years ago today we set off from 19 Ridge Green around the world on this big adventure. Hard to believe it, Deb.
I can't quite believe it, no.
3 years. So we thought rather than go for a big ride, we'll do something a bit different, and we'll make a film about the gear that we use and how we've honed it down after 3 years. So this is properly tried and tested gear, 23,000 miles, something like that. 3 years, everything works now, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
So let's have a look at the bikes and the bags and show you what we carry as our lives. Now, first thing to note, a lot of people have a track stand. Because there's two of us, we get to lean our bikes together like this. So this is how we stand our bikes up when we're outside a shop or...
Yeah, it kind of works on any road surface, any ground, any bumpy stuff, not a problem. Slopes can be a problem, but that's it. And they're having like a little cuddle, just like Debs and Tom. So I've got a Thorn Nomad 3. The frame is designed that you can actually play around with wheel sizes. The reason I chose it, well, they're a brilliant company that specialise in touring bikes, and so it was always in my mind that it would probably be the brand I went for. When we were planning this, Tom already had a touring bike, so I went for something that was very similar to his, same wheel size, etc. But I treated myself to the roll-off hub, 14 gears, all contained within inside that little shell. And that is pretty much maintenance free. The gear cables here, they're not under tension. So in 3 years, I've actually never had to adjust the cable tension. All we have to do is every 5,000 K oil change, which takes 15 minutes. Lights, got a dynamo, but the back one is broken, so I've got a battery one on now. The rear wheel, now this is a 700C, and it is a disc brake on it, which I'll be honest, I prefer. I wish I had it on the front as well. Explain why when I get there. Tyres, Swalby. Oh my gosh, cycle tourists love Swalby. And we've got the Marathon Plus Tour. It's a 7 rating puncture resistance apparently, and generally pretty damn good. Very hard wearing too. Now, because it's a Thorn, I've got an eccentric bottom bracket. Now that means when my chain stretches, obviously no derailleur, so that can't take up the slack. I just undo a couple of bolts underneath here and move it round. It takes a couple of seconds to adjust the tension on my train. Tom's a bit more complicated. Frame is steel. Pannier rack, also steel, very robust. The bags I'm using I'll go on to in a minute, but carrying forward I've got 2 water bottles on. I've got extra mounts as well, that's down to Thorn. They've put me absolutely loads of extra mounts if I need them, but at the moment that is working fine. I'm on my second bottom bracket, about the 3rd drivetrain set in the time we've been on the road. Headset and FSA, fantastic. Still the original bearings, and I can't get them to move, they're great. To be fair, there's not a lot of power or tension going through there, but they just keep on going. Front wheel is a V-brake. Now I've got XT, I've got XT brakes, levers, it's XT all the way through. I like them, and I think they're a little bit more robust, a little bit harder wearing. You can see here the adjustment points depending on what size wheel I had. The rim itself is the Ride Andra. Now they are fantastic, a classic touring rim, very hard wearing. I'm on my second rim. Took the opportunity last year to take the hubs home and have them rebuilt, and they're going really well. Sun Dynamo hub, I'll be honest, probably wouldn't bother in future. A lot of people use them to charge things, we don't, and it adds a bit of weight. It means I've got a front light on all the time, but no, I would have probably gone, that pushed me down to having a V-brake. I couldn't have a disc brake with that hub, and I would in future, I would have gone for a disc brake. Too late now. I'll go into what's inside a bit later on, but I've got my handlebar bag, got my Garmin here, which actually mounts onto a little light, but you can't actually see the light because of the bag system, but I just love the position, which is why I stuck with it. Really, really nice. Really good line of sight. It's the 1080 I'm sure it does 1,000,001 things, but it tells me where I'm going and how far I've got to go, and that'll do for me. I've also got bar ends on, which is not original, but that gives me a choice of handlebar position, which is really good. Got 2 mirrors, so I can see Tom, the curb, etc. And this one for the traffic. Not brilliant at the minute, but I keep breaking these, and trying to find one that works that I don't break is very difficult. This little bag I bought in Wales. Said it was waterproof from Specialized. It isn't waterproof. I brought it because of my tools. I was going to put my Allen keys and things in there, but because it's not waterproof, I don't. So I keep lip salve in there, and that's about it. And I think it's probably going to go. I don't really need it. This bag will take an extra water bottle if we need it, but at the moment it gets the bug spray and the sun cream. It varies what's in there depending on the country. I have my little lucky mascot, which was given to me in Mexico by a lovely chap who was cycling, or had cycled Ushuaia to Alaska, and a bell, which actually works really well. It's about the 50 bell. Seat, wow, Brooks, love it, love it, love it. Generally always comfortable. It's getting a bit worn, dilemma time, do I replace it? Possibility maybe, at the end of South America I'll put a new one on. Our bags. We went for Ortlieb, no complaints. 1 or 2 niggles, but what do you expect after 3 years? And we'll go into more details later, but definitely recommend those.
Right, so here we've got my bike, which is an Oxford Bike Works machine, which you might never heard of because they're a very small company, but by chance we came across them on the way out of England, because originally I had a Cube, but it wasn't quite big enough. So Richard, the guy there, makes them made to measure. So this, as you can see, really unusual geometry. I like to ride sat straight up because I get a bad back, so I've got this huge extension, these big butterfly bars turned up, and it gives me a really comfortable position. As with Deb's, rim brakes on front and back, which, as Debs has said, I'd go with disc brakes in the future because your brakes just wear your rims, and we're on the second pair of rims already, we need a third pair, so I wouldn't go with that again. Got the Dynamo hub, but my lights stopped working a long time ago. Again, I don't think I'll bother with the Dynamo hub in the future because we don't charge electrics. A couple of mascots, I'll let you see if anybody in the comments can tell us what that is. And of course, one of my poor teeth from Cusco in the recent dental extravaganza. We did have, shout out to, I'll call them Say and Jebby, as I did on the very first day because I was so bloody nervous. But the Lego mascots unfortunately didn't last 3 years, but they're still there in feet or in spirit. Again, Brooks saddle, pretty happy with that. I think it's a Flyer Special, which has got the extra springs on for extra bit of suspension. It's pretty comfortable, but I'm so heavy that I get through them, and this is my second Brooks saddle. And it's already about out of the extension that you can give to make it more comfortable and stretch it. So
when Tom set off, our first 6 months, he had a different Brooks saddle, and within 6 months he'd killed it. So we contacted Brooks, and they were amazing. I think it was a wonderful guy called Steve, and they repaired his damaged Brooks saddle, or part destroyed, but they gave him this one free because they felt this was better for him, and they were right. Thanks Steve, thanks Brooks.
Again, the roll-off hub, same as Deb's. I'd never be without one of those again now. Fantastic thing. I'd never go back to a derailleur system. Just so easy to change gear, maintenance free. Bottom brackets and pedals, I've been through a few of these. I think I'm on about me 5th set of pedals and 7th bottom bracket, and even now it's got a bit of play in it, and we need to go to La Paz. We didn't want to go to La Paz, but I think it's the combination of the weight. I think this bike, fully loaded, is around about 60k, and I'm coming on 100k, so that's a lot of weight, and I think that combined with the torque and the power in my legs just means I just go through the bottom brackets and pedals like no business. Carry 4 litres of water. We've got 3 litres in these big bottles here, and a flask, which isn't the best place for keeping stuff hot or cold, but it's a nice convenient location. Now these are too heavy for the frame really. I've had problems with the fixings, So I've supported them with cable ties, but the ultimate solution for this one, I don't know whether you can make that out, but in Cuenca we had a guy weld a rectangular piece of metal to the frame to give it that extra bit of thickness to help support it, and it's been good ever since. A little bit of a mudguard on the front and mudguard on the back, which just helps stop getting completely mucky. And the old Yorkshire flag, the Rosa Alba from Yorkshire, which we both carry, although we could perhaps do with a new one because they're getting a bit battered. Ortlieb bags again, bigger ones than Deb's. This type, I don't think they even make anymore because it's not as waterproof. This one, the waterproofing's on the inside, which isn't as good because it just wears away. Whereas these ones, the more traditional, the waterproofing's on the outside and they're a lot more robust. Originally, this bike did come with a track stand, like a motorbike one, like an upside down V that you sort of push on. You can just see there the remnants of where it fixed to the frame. But again, the bike was too heavy for that really, so we ended up taking it off just to save a bit of weight.
And there was also the spring, wasn't there, as well?
Oh, and the spring. There was a lovely little device, because obviously often your bike does this and it spins right round. There was a spring attached here to try and stop that, but again, it didn't last the course. So
I think the big handlebars, too much leverage.
yeah. Got a mirror on the left. I didn't have one of these all the time. I only got this, I think, in the States. And now I wouldn't be without one. Honestly, to be able to see the traffic coming, it's ideal. It's cracked because of where I fell off on the Pato Canyon, but I leave it there to remind myself how close we are from danger. And cable ties. Along with duct tape, the touring cyclist's best friend, cable ties. We've been through a few of these. That's just sort of cable tied on as a bit of a podge job. I've got the original. These are actually off my Cube bike. These butterfly handlebars, and underneath there's a leather padding, but I've put on top of that traditional handlebar tape, and that makes it really comfortable to hold on. 99% of the time I'm riding holding up here. I only go down here really to brake when we're going downhill or in urban areas. So yeah. So what's in the bags? Let's have a look what's in the bags. But first thing to note is, after 3 years, we're pretty practiced about what goes in which bag, what makes it easier. And because of the mirror, one of the things you've always got to do with this bike is lean it on its right hand side. Because if you don't, you break the mirror, which we've done several times. So in doing that, I'll make sure the stuff I need to get to quickly is in this side. Right, so the way we've got it packed is both duffel bags, all the camping gear. So to set up camp, to make the tent up, to get all the bedding out, all we need is the 2 duffel bags. So let's have a look in this one. You'll notice we've got a bit of gaffer tape there to just protect it against the seat rubbing, which it does and rubs through the waterproofing.
Jane in Lincoln was the one that came up with that idea and gave us our first tape. Thank you, Jane.
You'll notice that they're all getting a bit worn. I mean, here for example, the strapping has snapped on one of them, so it's a bit tricky to get that in and out, but it's all okay. And so in here I carried the tent, which we'll show you later. That's the tent, inner and outer, all inside a dry bag. Most stuff we have is inside either a carrier bag or a dry bag to keep it dry. There's the poles and the pegs. So that there is the complete tent system. We've got a backpack, which is pretty bulky and pretty big, but it's not very heavy, but it's proved really invaluable when you've wanted to go and do some big treks and want to put a lot of stuff in. So again, I wouldn't be without that. Montane, we'll do a kit list, but I think it's, I don't know how many litres, but it's pretty big. But there you go. We'll put that up later. And then the other thing a little thing to note with these bags, what we've often found is they spin out like this when they're fully loaded. And I found that the secret to avoiding that is to always roll them away from the seat. So when you're fixing them, roll them that way, away from the seat, and then they spin up against the seat and don't fall off. So there's a handy little tip for you. Then last of all in here is our #1 luxury item, which you wouldn't be without, is a couple of Helinox chairs, which are just perfect for when you're camping up. But they're magic chairs because they put themselves up.
Wow!
So I think these are the Helinox 1 standard and extra large, and I think we could have got away with a little bit smaller and saved a few grams. So I've got extra large because obviously I'm extra large, but this one of Deb's is just the standard, and I'm quite comfy in that, and I think she could have probably got away with the Chair Zero. So had we again done that in the future, we might have gone a little bit smaller, but there's not much in it, and it's super comfy. Oh, it's the times we've been at campsites thinking, oh, thank goodness we've got these chairs. You can just sit and relax after a hard day. It's just perfect, eh, Deb?
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. They're staying in the kit. Okay, so the other camping kit bag. Obviously Yorkshire Rose, and then in we go. What's in here? Now over the years these have got slightly deformed, and I don't know what it is. I can never undo them. I need a Tom. Go on, Tom.
You just have to slacken them off a bit.
Even when I do that, it doesn't work. Again, sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. One undoes before the other and it pulls out a funny angle, and I can never get them to pop out. Okay. Eureka, we're in. So what's in the bag? Recent acquisition in Cusco for hiking, and it's small enough to go in the bag. It's actually second hand, but it was the only one that fitted, so they kindly sold us it. Little and large, our Thermarest sleep mats. Now this was a recent change for me. Nice sleeping bag. Tom and I both originally had pretty much the same one, albeit different sizes. I've gone for a Spanish make, a lot smaller and not quite as cold weather. Thomas's sleeping bag, just a wee bit bigger than mine, as you can see. So as you can see, helmet, I always, as just Tom, we always wear our helmets whenever we go anywhere. I always wear a cap. I love the cap, keeps the sun off my eyes. This one is perfect. A wonderful present after I cooked my last one on the Icefield Parkway from a great guy called Don, who happened to be carrying it with him. Just the ticket. And I always leave my hair clip on the strap of my handlebar bag because I can lose anything. So I know where it is and I can get the hair out of my eyes. And when it's hot, oh God, I need my hair clipped up. Done.
Okay, what's in the backpack? So this one, when it's leaned up against a wall or a post, first thing I've got on the top of everything, you can see everything is in bin bags because the bags aren't as waterproof as they used to be. But the first thing I've got is a warm top. So if we're up in the mountains, it's getting a bit chilly, you can just dip into that bag, grab that out. On the side, we've got the padlock, again for going into shops and things. A water container, which is really handy. That's MSR, that's Roberto gave us that in San Francisco, and that is a brilliant bit of kit. I think it can hold something like nearly 5 litres of water. Super. But that goes in there too. And then inside here, all wrapped up in waterproof plastic, and my main clothes, which we'll talk through later. Laptop, again in its own dry bag. The electric box, which we'll look into as well. And our washing machine. So this is a great bit of kit. Huge big dry bag. When we get dirty washing, we fill it up, fill it with water, tie it up, shake it around, stamp on it, wash it around, and it's like our own little washing machine. So that's a great bit of kit. So that's back bag number 1. So come in close to some of this. You can see the bags have taken a bit of a battering over the years. We've patched them up with gaffer tape, and the pain of our lives are these little grey bits. they're forever falling out. And you can see when they're grey, you can imagine trying to find that in amongst the stone and the dirt is really difficult. So Ortlieb, please paint them fluorescent orange or something. That would make so much difference.
I think they come out because the whole system along here gets quite worn. So it's a problem that develops over the time, but yeah, please Ortlieb.
Also on the back you'll see we've got the extra foam pad as well as the air mattresses that we'll show you later. That's really useful just for working on the bikes, saving the old knees. The knees aren't what they used to be, and when it's really cold, underneath the sleeping mat has a bit of extra insulation, so no weight to it. We've cut it down a bit to fit on the back of the bike, but wouldn't be without that either. So this other bag, we've got easy access to waterproofs. To be honest, there's no such thing to me as breathable waterproof. After 3 years on the road, we've tried them all. We've tried the Gore-Tex, the North Face and all. The best thing for me, good old Peter Storm. It's a bit like a plastic bag. It makes you sweat, but it keeps the water out. So there's our waterproof. Seat covers as well, which is important for the Brooks saddle. And then inside here, we have, again, wrapped in black plastic, our overnight bag. So this is all we need to get out when we're camping up. In there I've got my clothes for the night, which we'll go through in a moment. So that's the overnight bag. So once we've pitched the tent with the 2 duffels, that's the only bag we need for the night. Come another person up. And then the rest of that I think we'll go through inside, because as you can see it's getting a bit warm and there's aircon inside, so we'll go through the rest of that bag later. And on the front of the bike we've got what we call the kitchen bags. These 2 bags here are full of food and the kitchen, the cooking ingredients. So we'll go through them again in the room because it's roasting. And then handlebar bag inside here with the rather nutty foam lining. The GoPro sits in there, so easy access. So when I film on the bike, it's usually just one hand riding and one hand holding the GoPro filming around. We'll go through that in a bit more detail later.
Okay, so I'll empty these out inside, but this bag is the bag I need whenever we get off the bikes, be it a hotel or camping. And how do I know it's the bag I need? Well, the bag I don't need has a patch on. It just makes life easier for me. At the front, like Tom, I have a kitchen bag, which is this side. And again, just to make life easier for me, I have a little tag on here. This bag has multiple purposes, and I'll explain a little bit later. And then of course, like Tom, I've got my handlebar bag, which is indispensable. I do keep it tidy. Purse, kept in place by my binoculars, both our glasses, toilet roll, extra toilet roll, phone, and reading glasses.
Perfect.
And we've also got a magic tent.
Now this is our tent, a Nemo, I think it's Aurora. They may even have stopped making it now, but it's a dream of a tent. It's absolutely perfect. It's symmetrical, it's so easy to put up, takes about 5 minutes. It's big, roomy, even for somebody 6'4" like me. It is an absolute dream. And green too. The first one we had was blue, which was not ideal for wild camping, but you can tie these up here so that when it's hot. There you go. And then inside, look at the space in here. Bloody lovely, isn't it? Woo. We've got these lovely air vents for when it's a bit extra hot. Just lets a little bit more air in. Look at that. And pretty waterproof. I mean, the ground sheet's taken a bit of a battering over. I think we've had this one about a year. It's our 3rd tent. We had a big Agnes when we set off.
That was quite old though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then a blue version of this, and now the green version. Oh, look at that. That looks comfy, Debs.
It certainly is. There's room for all our bags when we camping somewhere, and we've got them all sorted so that it works really, really well. Little bag up here, little pocket. We can put our head torches in there so we have a light in the tent. I think you can see here this venting that Tom was talking about. that little bar just pops down and they drop down when we want that gone. You can obviously have it without the outer. We've got it pegged down here, but you can have it without those, so you can have it inside a building, etc. And what I love when we have just the inner is we can lie down there and watch the night sky, which is just fantastic. And get a bit damp on the morning if there's a bit of condensation, but other than that, definitely worth it.
So this is our sleeping mats, Thermarest Neo Air, one large and one small as per normal, and this is Deb's how she blows them up every night. Look, so rather than blowing them up with your breath, which would fill them full of moisture doing it every night, we have this handy little valve on the dry bags, which means you can blow them up like this, fill that with air, roll it up, and away you go. You can see they're getting a bit grubby now, but 3 years on the road, like all of us, we're feeling the wear and tear. Mine, we've patched them both up twice. Mine's got a slow puncture which we can't find, which means you've got to blow it up 2 or 3 times a night, but it's no big hassle. Okay, so the back bag, one of the back bags with the computer to close the electric box. So the computer, it's uploading at the moment, so it's not actually in here, but most important for the computer is a good hard case, because it does get a battery. The computer's over here, if you want to have a quick look, Debs. It's a Dell XPS 13. Collected quite a few stickers on the route.
Yeah, happy memories. Whoa.
But it's uploading with Bolivian Wi-Fi, which is taking quite a way for the newest film. Quite a bit of weight in that, but to do the films and to do all the photos, we need that. The washing bag we've talked about. The electric box, so coming for this then. So again, pretty heavy, but this has got a myriad of things in. Little set of headphones for listening to music, not upsetting Debs. Tiny little headphones there. And then the charging system. Now this is extra weight that we don't really need to carry, but I like to carry it. So again, so this thing is a RAV Power. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. I'll put it in the description. But the way it works basically is it adjusts to various voltages and currents, evens them out, and it's got 4 ports, and it fast charges on 4 different leads. So if we're in a cafe or a hotel just for one night, we want to charge everything, I think it's worth taking that, because it charges 4 things at fast charge pace. So we've got 4 leads, and again, I like to carry a 2-meter lead, and high spec leads that really fast charge all the time. 2 meters because you're often a long way from the plug. You want to lie in bed looking at your phone or doing some work on the computer, and the socket is actually 2 meters away. So only a couple of extra grams, I'm sure, but 2 meters for sure. Spare pair of reading glasses, razor and plug from the States, which I think we bought in Florida. A couple of camera filters, which are very rarely used, but if you want them and you need them, that's all you need. There's a polarizer, circular polarizer, and a big stopper, neutral density filter there. Some spare glass screens for the phone. We got those in England, and we've still got a spare one. Hard disk drive, we've got 2 of these, 2 gigabyte I think they are, or 2 terabyte I should say. Small Samsung hard drives, brilliant little things, tiny. Debs carries one, I carry the other, and all the photos, the films and everything go on there. So that's always backed up, and we keep them in 2 different places. A plug adapter for universal across the world, SIM card extractor, a couple of hand warming sachets, not in fact for the hands, but for the camera when we're up in the mountains and it's freezing cold, and stops the camera condensing. Remote lead for the camera for when we're doing long exposures and things. Memory card reader for the camera, a Sharpie pen, and a few spare bits for the GoPro. So we'll spread all that out and do a list of that, but that's what's in the electric box. Okay, so this is the clothes in the green bag, which we don't often get out. This is sort of spare clothes in the dry bag. A pair of swimming shorts for going swimming where it's a public place. 4 pairs of socks, 2 for on the bike. It's got another pair I'm wearing and 2 that are a bit warmer for the cold climates. The old green vest top, which is on its last legs I think, but we'll keep wearing that for when it's really hot. 2 pairs of cycling shorts. Only really wear one, but if you're on a long stint without a shower, you can wear one and get the others clean while you wear the others. The fleecy top, which we mentioned earlier, a nice little wrap outfit, pretty nice with a hood. You'll have seen me in the videos on that in the morning when it's cold. Spare pair of shorts, outer shorts. There, got another pair I'm wearing, which again are on the last legs. 2 pairs of pants, spare pair of long trousers, a pair of thermal leggings, which will go in the camping bag when we're in a cold climate. Sort of an old waterproof top, which isn't any waterproof anymore, but it's useful as a windbreaker. A flannel, which is nice to get clean with. And a couple of merino wool tops, which are lovely in the cold weather. Brilliant brand, -33 I think they're called, from the States. And if you're tall like me, they make them tall, extra large tall. So if you're tall like me, 6'4", you can never find a shirt that fits, and especially when you're looking for a base layer, you want something that's going to cover your back. So they make these extra long, and look at that, they fit perfectly for a tall person. So I'd certainly recommend them, -33. So there's the spare clothes. And the great thing about these dry sacks is they act a bit like a vacuum pack thing. So I put all these in here, and then what I do to get the best out of the packing, they've got this little valve on, which you open up, a tie top, so you can compress everything. And then what I tend to do to make the best of the space is just sit on it.
Lovely.
Get the last of the air out. And that way, it takes up a lot less room in your bag. So this is the camp bag, as it is just what we need for the overnight stuff. So as well as what I'm wearing to cycle in, shorts, shirt, socks and cycling shorts. In here we have spare pair of pants, spare pair of socks, nice long socks to stop the bugs biting your ankles, a spare shirt, and I must put a shout out to Orvis, to be honest. Orvis shirts, again, a bit like the -33, they make them extra long, so I think they're 2 or 3 inches longer in the sleeve and in the back. And the quality of this is insane. I've worn this for 3 years and it's still very strong. I mean, it's sun bleached, but the stitching's good, the fabric's good, fantastic, great brand, Orvis. Okay, pair of long trousers, even though it's scorching hot round here, when we camp up, it's the long trousers because of the bugs. A buff that we can put on our head to keep the bugs off, flannel to get clean, and a spare pair of the remains of some socks, which I tend to put around my ankles when it's really buggy to stop them biting my ankles, double skin, and then the travel towel, which is quite big but very lightweight. So for the rest of this bag, we'll spread it out on the bed so it's easier to see. Spare pair of shoes. I have real difficulty finding shoes to fit, so normally I might only carry 1 pair, but these Merrell extra wide are about the only shoes I can find to fit, so there's a spare pair there. So I've got 2 pairs of shoes, pair of flip-flops for when it's really hot and sunny, tripod. Now that's something I've often toyed with the idea of, do I need it, do I not? You can only get the shots with a tripod, so I don't know, but it's heavy, so that's a potential. A spare battery pack for charging stuff up, couple of spare gas canisters for the stove, which we'll talk to you about shortly on that. A couple of
Head
torches, one each there. Hat for when it's really hot and sunny. Don't often use that, but again, when you need it, you need it when you're off the bike. Down jacket for when it's really cold. And then in that dry bag is all my sort of cold and wet weather gear, which is a pair of waterproof trousers, 2 pairs of gloves and a hat. And then in this bag here, we have some repair tools, which Debs will talk about later because she's the bike mechanic of the pair. So that is both of my back bags completely. So there we go. Okay, so the 2 kitchen bags, let's have a look what's inside these. Not a lot of food at the moment because we're in a hotel, but these are really nice double fastener from Morleave actually. The 2 things make it really sort of animal proof and waterproof. And again, this is the better quality fabric. So in here we have some drinking chocolate. We like these little containers, they weigh nothing and they keep stuff from getting bashed about. Stuff gets very damaged with vibration on the bike. So these, some stock cubes and some spices. Now this is what we've changed to from we used to have a Primus Omnifuel gasoline stove or petrol stove, but it was so unreliable. One day it worked, next day it couldn't work out why, and we just got sick of it. So we've changed to butane propane mix, and we've got this lovely Doit, is it? I don't know quite how you pronounce that, but propane stove, which is just a treat. Can be a bit tricky getting the gas bottles, but we carry a couple of spares, and if it means we have to go a week or 2 without the stove, then I'd rather have that than the unreliability of the Primus Omnifuel, to be honest. Water filter, MSR Guardian, again it's a big one, but for 2 of us it's really fast and we can quickly fill stuff up with that. The only thing that's not part of the kitchen bag, but it sits in the kitchen bag, is a spare tyre. So in here, again protected by plastic bags, is a spare Schwalbe tyre. Because Debs has had a blowout once in her tyre, which we needed to replace the tyre, so maybe a bit of overkill to carry it, but we carry a spare tyre. And then pan number 1, which is a nice little pan there with the stove, the gas bottle rather. Again protected with carrier bags. And a little windshield. We found that the best way of these is just to get a 5 metre roll of tin foil and fold it up, and it gives yourself a little windbreak, and it does the job just perfectly for like £1, something like that. So there you go. So that's kitchen bag number 1. Kitchen bag number 2. Our lovely mugs, which we got from Secret Spot Surf Shop in Scarborough, still going strong.
Thanks, Tomo.
Really good mugs. A random tin of peaches.
Whoa!
It's not the only thing you can get. Ingredients for porridge, oatmeal, porridge. Coffee filter.
Oh,
no, this is probably the best coffee filter we think for compromise between weight, hassle. We did have an AeroPress, but it was too much hassle. But this thing is just a drip filter with this brass or copper, I'm not sure, mesh. You put the coffee inside, let it drip, tastes good. Some more spices. And pan number 2, which is the big pan. Not sure of the capacity of that, we'll give you a kit list, but seat to summit is it, I think. Wonderful big pan for cooking up a big stir fry, something like that, with some tea and some quinoa and some other things in there. And at the bottom of the bag, just to give it a bit of stability, some spare inner tubes, which we haven't needed for a long time because the new Schwalbe inner tubes, which we didn't mention on the bikes, we'll have to find out the name of those. They're really good for puncture resistance. We haven't needed to change these for a long time. So, and that's kitchen bag number 2. So in here we've got a couple of handy little pockets for bits of rubbish and such like. I've got some lip balm in one side for when it's hot and sunny or cold and windy. And then inside the GoPro sits in there. We've got phone, the wallet with all the money and the cards and everything, so passport, so potentially a little bit vulnerable there. A lot of people carry a false wallet and a false purse, but I just put it all in there. A battery pack for charging things up without having to get in the back bag for the spare one. Because the GoPro, we used to have a GoPro with the Volta, I think it is, integral battery grip, but it was rubbish. I wouldn't recommend that at all. The wire kept breaking, it never worked, it wasn't waterproof, and the sound was terrible on it, so we've gone back to just a standard GoPro handle. But the battery, of course, needs charging quite regularly, so I can just leave that in there and plug the lead in. A pair of reading glasses for the old folk. And then inside here, some blue roll and some plasters. Our internet is provided by Glowcallme, which isn't the cheapest or most efficient way of doing it, I guess. A lot of people get a SIM card in every country they go to, but we've got, I think, 6 different devices that can connect to the internet: the laptop, Deb's tablet, 2 phones, the Garmin, and various things. So we find that serves us best, because then we don't have to change our SIM card and our phone numbers and that kind of thing. So that is like a portable Wi-Fi hotspot. And then in here, cocooned in this lovely foam packaging and in another dry bag, of course, is the big camera, as we call it, which is a Nikon Z7 with a 30mm lens, because I'm a sucker for the long wide-angle shots. Quite a heavy camera for a trip like this, but it's the camera I had, so you know, it saves getting another, and it captures light so beautifully. It really does. Perhaps don't get it out as often as I should. Maybe once, twice a week we take pictures with this, but it's there for when we need it, and you can't get shots on your phone like you can get on this. So, and that's the handlebar bag.
Okay, so this is my main back bag. It's also, just so you know, it's the Ortlieb Roller Top Classic. Roller top because that's what it does. The top rolls, which 3 rolls helps keep it waterproof. And this actually, to be fair, has stayed pretty waterproof, but I've still got it lined with a plastic bag. So this is our everyday bag, and I carry bits that Tom doesn't. So here we go. And for those who've seen the films will understand, that's our toothpaste, toothbrushes, quite a few bits in there because of got to look after Tom's teeth. We're getting on a bit, so they're everyday tablets that we take every day. Nothing very exciting. And this bag is my night bag, camp bag. So everything in here is what I need for an evening. Now I'm not kind of quite as good as Tom, and I have a bit more kit. I have a lovely big throw. I'm on my 3rd, I've lost the other 2, which I wear as a, when I'm going out, I wear it around my shoulders, I put it over my legs when I'm sat in the chair to keep all the midges off me, keep me a bit warmer. I love my little throw. I can also get changed inside it. I have a very warm merino wool from Endura long sleeve top for cold camping. And I have a short sleeved, which I pinched off my lovely cycling daughter Helen, little vest to sleep in. So long sleeve, short sleeve sleeping top, short sleeve sleeping shorts bought in Canada from a charity shop. And then this, my goodness. A few days before we set off, we had a whistle-top tour to get a few essentials. Picked this up and I love it. Long sleeves, get my thumb loops in there, hood, pockets, big pockets on the outside and the inside. You can get tons of stuff in it, and I still think it looks pretty good, and that gets worn virtually daily over 3 years. So that's my warm top for camping, keeping the midges off. Like Tom, I carry a pair of socks. I had a lovely pair, laundry lost one. So these are new, these are Angora alpaca wool, something like that. And they keep my feet warm on the night, but they also keep the midges off me. And then these have been going since day one. My baggy from TK Maxx, sort of leggings, need a wash, but they keep me comfortable. I sleep in them when they're cold and I lounge about in them when we get to the campsite. It keeps all the midges off as well. And they kind of push up to my knees when it's a bit warm and there's no midges. So that's my sleep system. It's also my evening system if we're in a hotel and not really going out. Everything there. So in here it's a shampoo. I don't know why it's in there, but it's a big bag of shampoo. Then I have my everyday cleaning stuff, moisturiser, antiperspirant, that sort of thing. Packs down in there. First aid kit. Carried this for 3 years, and to be honest, we've used it once in anger, and that wasn't for us. So close to just not carrying one. We'll see. I'll then put extra painkillers in with that. Here, this is my electrical equipment. You can tell I'm probably not as electrical equipment minded as Tom. So what have I got in the bag? I've got my little tablet, a few little stickers too, and that's where I write my blog and watch Netflix. Oh, quite heavy actually, but it wouldn't be without it. I've got funny sensitive ears, so I can't do a little ear thing, so I have these, birthday present from my beloved, so I don't annoy him on the night. And my charger. All lives together in there. Here, camp shoes. I don't want my trainers on, but I can cycle in these, I can hike in these. These are what I wear when I'm not on the bike, and they're a set of Keen's brilliant things. Smell a bit mine. Finally, I've got my flannel and I have 2 towels so I can sort of dry me down and dry my hair down. Okay, so what's in the first aid kit? Well, if you've ever fallen off your bike, what do? You scrape yourself. This stuff, Gelon, it's fantastic. It's like a mesh that's medicated, doesn't stick onto the wound, absolutely brilliant. So I've got some of that. I've also got some wound covers and a few things to wipe the wound down before we apply it. All very sensible, but never needed. Well, I did have some sores on my bum once and those covers were great. Therefore, when we have an upset tum, these are called Floritin, and brilliant. And you do get a few upset tums when you're touring. A couple of face masks. Save on a bit of money. I cut Tom's hair, he cuts mine. Spare toothbrush I mean. I had a bit of an eye going on when we were in Cusco, so that's some medication in case it comes back. Lots and lots of extra tablets. Dramamine if I'm in a car or on a boat. More painkillers. Spare antihistamine. Tick remover. There are extra pills of Tom's, more painkillers.
Super important.
This super important. This is for when we get hot and sweaty and sore bottoms. Perfect. Ditto for lips. That's the first aid one. My personal stuff. We share an antiperspirant. My daily comb, which I think is going to replace that one because it's dying. Shaver. Little treat. Little bit of necklace I brought myself. Body moisturiser, hand sanitizer, daily drops for sore eyes, a couple of spare shampoos, a mirror, spare soap, not a very healthy looking nail file. If I wanted to try and get my hair looking nice, a few clips, nail clippers, eyebrow tweezers, moisturiser. Okay, and over here, his and her tooth braces. We really do try and keep on top of our teeth because we don't get them checked very often, so both to clean the teeth out. Tom's using Listerine daily now as well because of his wound in his mouth and a decent sensitive toothpaste. Okay, so one of my jobs is to clean the bags. Don't do it that often, maybe once a month or so, and also tighten up any nuts and bolts, really it's Allen key heads on all of these because they do come loose. So that's one I've just done. And here's one waiting to be done. Yeah, I know. This one was, oh, there's a lovely little film of the man repairing that on our channel. He did a great job. Okay, so this is the bag I don't use so often, and the reason I make it this bag is because obviously it's the weaker bag. In here, whew, another liner, although that's doing the trick. That seems to get any water in. So what have we got in here? So that's the bag emptied. Like Tom, everything mainly in these waterproof bags. Okay, what's in the bag? So in this bag there's like extra stuff. How my brain works, I have a little bag for little things. So I've got my bra, there should be some pants, but I think they're all in the wash. I've got a little hat, socks, midge net, spare pair of cycling gloves, buff. I love this really thin, big wrap, which I glam up my little black dress or wear it as a sarong by the pool, all of these things. And it was a wedding anniversary present for my beloved, so I do like that. Another pair of gloves, which I really like. I thought I didn't really need them, but they were just so cute. Got them in Cusco. Swimsuit, yep, little things. The next bag, a bit bigger, probably the same size to be fair, is my waterproofs, and this gets buried at the bottom because I don't normally use it very often. Waterproof trousers, thick cycling tights, probably going to dump after we've finished in South America. Rarely wear them, and I could just wear my trousers and my waterproof, so I think unnecessary. I think they're going to get dumped. Waterproof socks, do love it when it's cold and wet, so yeah, they survive. 2 pairs of gloves which kind of work. Never really got successfully warm gloves, but yeah, they're all right. Then these are my spare clothes. Kind of think I've got a bit too much, but first of all, I have a separate set of cycling kit. So I've got a pair of Live shorts and I've got a pair of Endura shorts. Went for different brands because the stitching's in different places, hopefully to stop sores developing. And then I have 2 different tops. This one from Terry, which is an American cycling company, and this bright orange one from Montaigne, which is a little warmer. Theory is I wear one day, wash it overnight, and then it's clean and dry for the day after. It dries on the bike. In reality, it just doesn't work. So I tend to wear one outfit, and if you've watched the films, you'll know it's this one. And if we're staying on the bike for 4 days, the 4th day I'll put clean kit on, maybe, probably clean shorts at the most, and so I arrive at a hotel not smelling too badly. Never suffered from saddle sores apart from once, and that was the pull shorts. I have my glam little black dress, which is just roll up in a ball, doesn't crease. Bought this in Canada with my lovely friend Jen, and just so cool and comfortable to wear, and can go out for dinner and not look like a cycle tourist. My warm off the bike kit, which is a little shirt, merino wool tank top, and my beloved pair of Patagonia shorts, which have been had for donkey's years. And then I've got my long length trousers, another vest, and another shirt. The nice thing about that is I hate my arms and I don't like too much sun on them, but it's not too warm, and when you're inside a building you can take the shirt off and be cool. And then, unnecessary, I bought this. It's a merino wool top. It's probably very nice, but I don't really like it. But I'm keeping it for South America when it's cold, and then it's going home. Incredibly unfetching hat, which I occasionally wear. And when I'm going out and want to look smart, I have my little sort of bandana thing. Going fits and starts with that one. Here, completed diaries, ready to pass on when I go home or meet somebody who's going home. I've got my down jacket. Really, do I need my down jacket and my big purple hoodie? I'm not sure. I do wear both, but rarely at the same time. So after South America, that's probably going home too. And then there's another spares bag. I know, what on earth? I'll go through those 2 bags we have together, and we may dump some stuff. We keep thinking about that. Bag number 2. Okay, so this one here is my kitchen bag, and this one with the little pink tag on is my split personality bag. I'll explain in a mo about that one. Okay, let's see what's in the bag. Okay, so bag number 1, our kitchen bag. In here we have everything we need for lunch, and also what we eat with. So we both have a long-handled spoon, indispensable, and to be honest, that's all Tom has. I also have a knife and fork, Tom's spare roll fork, which no longer gets used, and this is our chopping knife, and just in case, a bottle opener. Well, you never know. That's my bowl and my plate. That's what I eat out of. We also shape things up in it, make salads in it. This is our chopping board. That's all we need. They last so long and then die on us. We used to have a wooden chopping board, but that does the trick. Always carry a bit of washing up liquid and a washing up brush, which is old toothbrushes. We recycle those. This I think probably will go. It's the knife sharpener. I tend to use a local rock or something, or but that's a knife sharpener. That normally would be with Tom, but we just picked it up on the way here. So it's a tomato sauce, mix it with pasta or anything and have a nice meal. Obviously peanut butter, can't go anywhere without peanut butter. Little free samples from restaurants, little sauces, tomato sauce, mustard, etc. And we always carry a mayonnaise at the minute as well. Bags of nuts, these are quite good, we just come across them in Peru. Cost about £2 or £3, and there's a really good healthy mix of stuff in there. Always generally have some tuna as an emergency lunch and a few crackers for an emergency lunch. And that's our kitchen bag. So, bag number 2. Now this one does change. So for example, when we went through Bear Country, all that went in there was anything that smelt. So all your smellies that I've had in other bags in various places, clothes we'd worn, so they didn't go in the tent. And it happens, it just keeps varying which use. At the minute, we've moved these from Tom's bags, and we keep the repair kit in case we get a puncture, in case we need to do any maintenance. Hot, sweaty country, we keep a few baby wipes because there's often nowhere to wash. I keep a top with me in case it gets a bit chilly, but I also use it to sit on, this type of thing. This was a present, literally gave me the shirt off the back. This lovely family in Mexico. Then we have this bag, which is the puncture repair kit, an assortment of tyre levers. They get broken as we go along. Pen to make a mark where the hole is. That's to get Tom's wheel out. Puncture kit, you know, the usual stuff, glue, etc. Spare inner tube. We never bother with them, but some gloves to keep our hands clean. And a fabulous, fabulous pump. It's the Topi Morph something or other. So your stirrup pump, so you can stand on it when you pump up. Mini track pump basically. Very, very efficient. Our second one, the first one died, but it was already a good few years old when we set off. Very happy with that piece of kit. And then I, like Tom, have a rucksack, but mine's much smaller, much lighter, because it gets used sort of when we stop anywhere as my everyday bag, but it's very lightweight. From Montaigne, no, it's a Mount Bell. I don't think it is from Montaigne. Not incredibly hard wearing, but super light. 2 packs of cards. When you play shithead, you need 2 packs of cards. Can't get our favourite train lube, but this one, I think it's called Squirt, working really well. Very happy with that one. Oh, we started off with about 10 pegs, we're down to 2, but they're used for when you're drying clothes. So the main toolkit, highlight individual spanners, they're easier to work with. It's got a big adjustable spanner, chain tool, spoke key. That's for the Brooks saddles, to tighten them up. Found this on the road, very nice, fits quite a few things on our bikes. This is for my bottom bracket so I can tighten up the bottom bracket shell. So when I need to tighten up my chain, that's the tool I need there. This one, if we tighten up the chainring bolts on the chain set, this stops the back of the bolt moving. You can kind of use a knife, but that does work better. And this one, just treated ourselves to this because I gave our last one away for some reason. But this helps us open and close the chain when you're putting a new chain on. Then Allen keys. Again, you can get some lovely little sets, ratchet sets and things like that. But I find them easier to use to get in there. What I did before we set off, I went through the whole bike and I carry an Allen key or a star one in there. This is very trendy piece of kit. But so every single piece on the bike that uses an Allen key or a Torque one, we have the right ones for. This was Tom's last birthday present before we set off. He was a bit bemused at first, but it has a multiple purpose of uses, knives galore, scissors, the whole lot. Really, really useful. Bit of weight, but very, very nice. Okay, so I carry this, which is full of this. So what's in the bag? Okay, well, we're ready soon in the next few months for a new drive chain, which is a new chain ring and a new sprocket on the back. And my wonderful friend Sylvan, his fabulous dad Ben, brought those over for us from America. I've been carrying this for a while. It's a spare rotor for my disc brake. Haven't needed it, won't put it on until I do. Doesn't weigh much, but it means I've got one when we need one. Probably a bit overkill on this because I'm sure we could have picked one up somewhere, but hey ho. And then saw this really good quality heavy duty chain, so I grabbed that for Tom and I'll buy myself whatever's available when we need to do it. They shouldn't be in here. Bit of perfume, stuff for my lady shave, they'll go in the other bag. This has been a wee bit obsessive, but we have a second track pump. Why? Well, one broke. When it breaks and you're in the middle of nowhere and you can't blow up your inner tubes, you're stuffed. We carry a spare. Just peace of mind. Some grease, which is useful. That actually wants to be in the front bag. Don't know why it's here. For some reason, I have this little packet which has spares, just very specific spares. So that will hold the Garmin on. Spare keys for our Ortlieb bags. That's again Garmin. That's to do with the roll-off rear hub. It's a little spare backing plate. And that's bolts for the roll-off as well. So very specific bits of kit that we wouldn't be able to just pop into a local shop and buy. So we keep those with us. So they're useful. So here I keep some spare credit cards and my UK driving licence, some records for my eyes and various things, just in proof of ID and stuff like that. So I keep those. That's, as Tom mentioned earlier, our backup, so that's where I keep mine. Spare glue, spare patches, the various things of our kit. Thanks to my lovely mum-in-law Sue, I have a little sewing packet, and you'd be amazed how often we use it. Got some cotton, various needles and bits and bobs. Thought it was a bit OTT, but it does get a lot of use. Now here, I've got a little box full of various nuts and bolts, and I've got spare ends for pedals and stuff like that. Maybe got more than we need, but you never know, you never know. So they're bits for the dynamo as well. So that's that. Extra patches. We had a period of nightmares with punctures, won't go into that, it's over now. But they weigh nothing. Yeah, you either need them or you don't. But we keep those with us. I might move those into that front bag with all the other puncture stuff. I collect badges somewhere, buried somewhere, I've not got them out today, and lots of little badges of countries we've been to. Flannel to wipe the chain down. Tie wraps, obviously cannot do without those. Got myself some lovely Oakleys, and the lens has just worn away more or less instantly. So I'm keeping those until I can find a new lens. One of those escaping. face masks and spokes, which again, very useful. We have used several. That's really good, useful to have. Okay. And then Tom has quite a bit more. Any of our regular readers will know we had such a nightmare back in the States when I put a new rim tape on Tom's wheel, and oh my goodness, it wouldn't stay put. So those now are specific rim tapes for our rims, and worth their weight in gold. Here, polish for the Brooks saddles, so we keep a little jar of that, probably ready for binning, and a new one, it does go off after a while. Duct tape, not the best in the world, or it's supposed to be 3M, but always useful. And yay, some new flags, so we might replace them, and that's our one that my nephew Jeddy and myself and Tom created.
Look at that.
So that might go back on. We may have a bit of a flag going on. The wind got it one day, as you can see. And what do you do with these things? You want to keep them. You can't just send them home. So
Birkin had that, wasn't it?
yeah. So we'll either put that back on the bike when we do a bit of repair work, or it'll go home next time we meet somebody who's popping back to England. And there's our beloved Mayo flag, ditto with that one. Then we have a bag here. These are Ortlieb spares. Now these are these little clips that hold the pannier bags onto your frame. They're the spacing clips. And grey, nightmare colour. Bright orange please, Ortlieb. But we do drop and lose those occasionally. I do keep one handy in my handlebar bag, and then there's another half dozen or more just here.
Into the light, yeah.
Okay. These probably really could do with throwing out, but just in case of emergency, if what's on gets smashed, we have kept the old ones. We've got 2 sets of those. Got a couple of spare brackets, in case they get, if it falls off and gets smashed, well, we've got a spare one. They don't weigh anything, they're just a little bit of bulky. And there's a bag full of various bits and bobs for the Ortlieb bags as well. Glue. Another box load of nuts and bolts, so I really do need to go through those and probably lose a few. A bit too much. Here we've got a bit carried away. We had an issue, I think it was wet and grimy, and we were going through break box like nobody's business. So we ended up buying quite a lot. We bought some cheap ones, and then we bought some better quality ones, and then my disc brake pads. Got a few too many, so they'll probably last us for a whole of South America. Most people carry a pair. Yeah, we maybe got a bit carried away, but hey ho. That's from my previous water bottle, which I love because you could pop it open and you've got a clean top to put in your mouth, but it doesn't fit my current one, but I've kept it in case I find one it does fit. Again, regular readers, viewers will know, Tom has a nightmare with pedals, so we've bought a spare pair in case a pair die. I mean, we had to literally get a bus to Arequipa because his pedal died, so that would prevent that happening. A couple of brake cables. Now these are Shimano pre-stretched, really nice quality ones. You virtually can't buy them. I've seen one shop in the entire trip selling genuine Shimano cables. Well, 2. One when we set off Richardson's in Scarborough and Russo's in Cusco. Bag of spares for the tent, so they're the bits if the poles breaks, they go on either side of the brake, and some spare cabling and some patches. Again, weighs nothing, a little bit of bulk. I mentioned with the roll-off hubs that every 5,000 K we do an oil change, so that's the cleaner and the oil. There's another set in there and the syringe to work it. Again, bit of bulk, but weighs absolutely nothing. Here we've got some matches and a lighter, just in case the cooker fails. And then this lovely man back in America gave us a pile of these in case we needed them. And we've used a few. Again, I keep looking and think, do we need them? But we have used 1 or 2, so we'll hang on to those. Again, no weight, just a bit of bulk. Most people don't carry anything light we've got here, I think. I think it's partly because somebody did say to me, Debs, you know too much. This was having the bike shop, I know what can go wrong. And so I think, oh, maybe we should have that. You'd be amazed what we've already got rid of. Girl's got to have a handbag, and this is mine. I keep it quite tiny, which is pretty unusual for me, but it's useful. My Garmin's in here, obviously, because I'm not cycling at the moment. At one end, I have my phone and my glasses together, and they sit neatly at the end. Toilet roll. There's often no toilet rolls in South America when you go to the loo, so we carry our own. Little packet in the middle is small bits. Let's get these out. That's probably easier. I've got a little pair of gloves. Just sometimes when you suddenly start going down a big hill, even if it's quite warm, my hands get cold, so I pop those on, keep them handy. Tom's sunglasses, my sunglasses, both broken at the moment. Some nuts, always handy to have a little bit to snack on. Some pretty naff binoculars. I lost my old ones, which I bought for my 60th birthday back in Lake Louise, but hey ho, not Lake Louise, somewhere. Diary, current diary, pen for the current diary, purse tucked neatly at this end. And then there's a little zip bag. What's in the bag here? Bag of money for Peru in case we meet somebody going that way who wants to do a bit of a trade. And, oh, I have weird habits. Let's confess some of my weird habits. What's going on in here? I pick things up. Well, first of all, I keep a little grey bit because we're always, well, not always, but we do occasionally lose them. So instead of having to go into the big bags, there's one handy to grab. So grey bit. Key that locks this bag up onto my handlebars. And then some money that's fallen out of there. And then I just want to kind of pick little bits up. I think there's a little engraving on there. I saw that. And I have an idea that when I get home, I've got various bits and bobs dotted about that I'll maybe make a big keyring or something, so I use them every day to remember the trip. Yeah, there you go. Weirdo.
Well folks, that was the kit list video, a bit of an epic one, but I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments, won't you?
And we're planning to do a couple of short videos on more specific things like the eccentric bottom bracket, how to adjust that, roll-off oil change, and if there's anything you're interested in, let us know and we can hopefully cover that too.
See you next time.
Bye.